Caught in the Act Unfaithful, episode 9. So we meet Alexis, and she tells Tammy that she grew up with a two-parent household, so she wants to follow her parents' footsteps and be in a long-term relationship. But her last relationship, the person she was very serious with, she thought that they were cheating on her, and it just became clearer and clearer that they were, but they would never be honest with her. Even at the end, they completely denied it, and she's like, I know it was something going on. So she basically took a couple years to heal from all of that, and then she met Ben, who is the guy that she's dating right now. And Alexis and Ben both have their own regular 9 to 5 job, but on the side, Ben is a promoter, and on the side, Alexis does music. So that's how they connected. They met at an event, and he was able to get her music played. So Alexis said that her and Ben have had conversations 2 years ago. He was saying like within the next 3 or 4 years, he wants to have a kid, be married, etc. So he has a plan and a timeline. But then she says, I was actually pregnant by Ben, but I got rid of it. Then she gonna say, yeah, I went through with the procedure without even telling Ben initially, so he didn't find out until after. So it wasn't a mutual thing where we both felt like it wasn't the right time, because his timeline says that he probably felt like it was the right time. She's saying that she felt like it wasn't the right time, so she did it behind his back and then came to him and said, hey, I was pregnant, but I did XYZ already. Like, it's nothing you could do to change it. As soon as she said this, I'm already feeling like he's definitely cheating on you. And I'm not going to say that it's your fault, because it's never going to be a woman's fault that she gets cheated on. But I could see where he's coming from. And I could see that he probably might not even want to be with you no more. Because if he told you 2 years ago that he had this timeline and you agreed to it and you wanted to be in this relationship with him and acting like you wanted to be long term, and then within those 2 or 3 years you get pregnant, you go behind his back while y'all in a relationship, get rid of the baby, and then come back to him and tell him that, you probably just hurt that man, and he probably don't want to be with you. Like, he probably looking to be with somebody else who's ready to have a kid right now. And if they aren't, they're not going to keep something like that from him. So I definitely think she's getting cheated on. Like she said, she ain't tell him for a couple months after the procedure already happened. So you was just sitting there being normal with him, not telling him that something so drastic just happened. He probably looks at her totally different. But she said that at the time when she did that, it was a lot of red flags that made her feel like they weren't ready to have a kid. So she said now their dates, texting, and communication is less. They used to text all day, talk on the phone all day, go on dates every week. Now she's lucky if she gets one text every couple days. Yeah, because y'all not together no more in his mind. And I'm telling you, he got a whole nother girlfriend somewhere that he about to have a baby with. Then she said one night he told her to come over. She went to the house and was knocking on the door. He wasn't coming to the door and the lights was on. So she like, I know you're not going. It sounds to me like he probably meant to text the other girl and say, come over, but you came over instead. Then she talking about she heard some laughter inside the house. And Tammy was like, and you went home. And she was like, yeah, eventually I left because nobody wasn't going to come outside. And Tammy was like, I would have still been standing there. We would have never been able to film this show. That's what I'm saying. So then she said, Ben has events. She usually will pull up to his event. She went to one of his events. He had his arm around some girl. She went up to him and checked it, like, who is this girl? Basically, he told her that was just his friend. And she was like, I don't even know the girl's name, but I feel like it's something more to that. My whole thing is Alexis is just acting like she's completely in the right. To me, none of this should be a shock to her. Yes, it's your body, your choice as a woman. But when you're in a relationship with a man who you still clearly wanted to be with and who you think would have been an active and good father, you should have told him that you were pregnant. You still could have made the choice to do what you wanted to do, but you should have told him you were pregnant before you terminated. Like, I just feel like he probably don't look at you the same after that. So they don't live together. They don't share a car. She already said she only getting one text every couple of days. So you know he don't be at her house like that. So Tammy like, we gonna have to just track everywhere he go. And Ben is real private, child. When the private investigator got there, he was like, damn, Ben got cameras on the front and the side of his house. So I can't even just keep circling the block, because eventually he'll catch on. Like, why does this car keep circling past my house? So Ben eventually comes out and the investigator follows him to somebody else's house. He pulls into the driveway, so we're just waiting to see who answers the door. Some girl comes to the door, open arms, hugging him, and they rocking back and forth like a happy couple. It's not looking good, Alexis. 2 hours go by, Ben comes out. And like the investigator said, well, all I could tell is that he was here long enough to be getting into some trouble. And based on that greeting at the door, child. So now they follow Ben to the club. And remember, he's a promoter, so he's working there. So the investigator puts a hat on that has a camera so he could follow him into the club and actually see what's going on inside. So we see him in there trying to flirt with one of the servers, twirling her around, talking about, you my favorite server. And she was like, please, Ben, you got too many women on you. So at his job at the club where he's a promoter, he's known as a ladies' man. So by the time he leave the club, it's like 2 a.m. So the investigator was like, I'm going to probably just follow him to wherever he go next. And I'm going to just camp out wherever he touched down at until the next morning. And he pretty much just ends up going home, and it looks like he's by himself. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, so next day, following Ben again. So we see that Ben is at a church, and there's this girl waiting for him outside the church with this little black dress on, and she greets him. So just putting 2 and 2 together, it's probably the same girl who he hugged at the door a couple days ago. But this is the first time that us and the investigators are really getting a good picture of her face. And they walked in the church holding hands. So Alexis is here to meet up with Tammy and Ken and look over all the surveillance. So Alexis is seeing all of the footage and she's pretty much good until they get to the church situation because she knows that he's very flirtatious. But when she saw that church situation and them holding hands and shaking hands with the pastor, she said, "What is this? Who is that?" And Tammy was like, "Does he go to church with you?" And Alexis says, "No, and I've asked him to." So then they were able to follow them after they left the church to like a lunch that they had together. And inside, she was able to get a clear picture of her face. And Alexis was like, "That's the girl he had his arm around in the club who I checked him about." And he said that was his friend. That's her. Him and the girl talking about getting married within the next 2 years. Ben said, "I feel like with marriage comes kids." And Alexis said, "We were almost this close to having a kid. I told you." That ABO, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know what I'm saying because I don't want to say the word on here. That changed it for him. He want kids and you didn't give him the opportunity to even voice his opinion or try to persuade you to keep the pregnancy or whatever. Even if you was going to stand on business and still do the ABO, you still should have gave that man a chance. You don't tell him months after it's done and then still think he going to want to be with you if you know he wanted kids. So Tammy was like, clearly this woman was already pregnant. So we don't know if she had an ABO as well or maybe she miscarried, but she was pregnant. So then Tammy had more footage. She was like, we ended up tracking them to a bowling alley. So they had a date night. And basically they went into the bathroom and had a quickie. And he was like, ain't nobody watching. So like, we knew what it was given when they went in that bathroom. They had a quickie. And she was like, I don't remember the last time we went on a date. And it's like what I said. He is done with you. He should have broke up with her clearly. So I'm not taking his side. But it's like, girl, he is done with you. And I don't know why you didn't put that together in your head that you hurt that man's ego. And then she was like, that's nasty about them going in the bathroom. That could also be the problem. He might be a little bit more spontaneous and nasty. He might like to do a little bit of more freaky things. Maybe you a little too boring for him. You know, I'm not shaming you for that either because that public bathroom was probably dirty as hell. But I'm just saying, some guys want to get down like that and they want a girl that's going to go to those lengths with them. You're clearly not that person. Me and Kim both was shocked at what happened next. The cameraman followed them into the bathroom and was like watching under the stall, and you could just see how the feet was lining up, that he was clearly standing behind her, and then you could hear like the that was too much. That was too much, y'all. Y'all should have not showed that lady that. That was too much. And Alexis was just like, you know, even though we don't see each other as much, we do still do it when we see each other, and it's unprotected. So he's doing it unprotected with both of us. He could have gave me something. I don't play like that. So Tammy asked her, do you still want to be with Ben? And she was like, I don't know. And Tammy was like, that sounded like a yes. And Alexis was like, well, I'm not ready to give up just yet. I need to get both sides of the story. The self-esteem is on the floor. He talking about he give us so much attention and affection, but you just told us that y'all text and communication have lowered. Y'all don't go on dates anymore. He only texts you once every couple days now. So it sounds like he's not attentive or affectionate anymore. You still holding on to how he was when y'all first got together. And that's not who he is to you right now. So it's like you're confused. And the self-esteem is on the floor. You should be ready to break this off. So when Tammy asked her, did she want to do a team up or a takedown? She said, F that B. I'm definitely doing a takedown. So of course, they're going to link back up when they have found Ben and this unknown female. So the next day they get Alexis and they're like, yeah, so we found Ben and this girl on another date. So they're on their way to the skating rink. So she see them making out and stuff in the skating ring. Mind you, the girl can't really skate. So it's about to be a mess when Alexis get in there and try to confront her. And of course, she's mad because he's kissing somebody else in public. Like, so Alexis goes in there flipping. Of course, she went in there straight with her shoes. Tammy and Ken followed in. And Ken is like, come on, Tammy. And she putting some damn skates on, talking about, no, y'all, we not supposed to walk on the roller rink floor. But the other girl, she's going crazy. Who the F is this? Why is she running up on us? So she clearly didn't know about Alexis. I think he's in two separate relationships and neither one of them knows about each other. Like, I don't really think there's a side chick here. I mean, old girl down here is hyperventilating and everything. She just going crazy. So apparently her name is Alex. So yeah, Alex is going through it. So he told Tammy he know exactly who she is. She was like, okay, so you're on my show caught in the act. So what's going on here? And he said, both of them are my girlfriends. And he said, I'm being honest. Alex is my piece and you're my backbone. Like basically I get something from both of y'all or y'all both fulfill half my needs. Alex and Alexis is crazy. So Alex is like, I don't think I've seen you once. So it sounds like she don't even remember the run-in that they had at the club. And Alex basically said, well, he told me that was nothing I needed to worry about, which is the same thing he told Alexis, that Alex was just his friend. So Ben was like, I'm standing on business, Tammy. Like, let's have a conversation. So they go walking off. Ken is trying to calm down Alex because she's just tweaking. I mean, having a whole fucking nervous mental breakdown out here. And Alexis went over to her and was like, listen, I'm not trying to fight with you. Can we just have a conversation woman to woman? And he basically told Tammy, like, Alex is like his fun time and his peace, and Alexis is like his strong black woman, which is why he says she's the backbone. Girl, that's not the role you want to play. That means you gonna be like his grandmama and his mama that got cheated on their whole lives, and you just supposed to stick it out and keep popping out babies and shit. That's what niggas mean when they say strong black woman. No shade. They want a strong black woman, please. But he was like, one woman is not going to understand my life with me being in the clubs and getting all the attention I get. So I just feel like I need two women to balance it out. And that's what works for me. And Tammy said, okay, well, polygamy is a thing, but you have to find two women that are willing to do that. You can't put that situation on two women and just expect them to go with it or try to keep it behind their backs. You could be doing this openly with two women that are willing to do it, where you could just be with both of them. Sometimes you could go out with both of them. It's people who will go for that, especially if you're a provider. Girls who go for that, as long as you pay their bills, that's their main concern. The people who are willing to live that type of lifestyle, in my opinion. He basically said that he's known Alex for about 8 years. So he knew Alex before Alexis. And he was like, Alex is my fun time. So I don't think it was ever really a relationship necessarily with him and Alex. Like, it don't have a title, even though Alex is clearly very possessive over him. So he didn't actually say he cheated on Alex to be with Alexis, but he did say he was dealing with Alex first. So Alex and Alexis were talking. They both said, like, we don't know about each other. He told both of us when we saw each other at the club that day that we were both just his friend. And Alex was like, well, I've been in a relationship with him for like 5 or 6 years. And she also confirmed that the pregnancy was miscarried. So they were planning to carry that baby out full term. And again, Alexis, where did you fall into this plot? Like, and as I expected, when Tammy asked Ben, what does he mean by Alexis doesn't bring him peace? He said, first of all, she had a termination of a pregnancy without my knowledge, which, like I said, I knew that would be his main issue because he said he did see a future with her. And he's still saying he loves her, but now it's like he needs something else because he see Alexis is not going to give him everything he needs. So Ben is still trash. You know, he's still a cheater. He's still a mess. He still should have been a man and broke up with her or whatever he needed to do. But I do see what happened there, just like I said from the beginning of the episode before he said it out of his own mouth. And he said, I'm not mad that she had it. I'm mad that she didn't tell me because it could have turned another way where we could have talked about stuff and we could have ended up having a family and getting married. I could have convinced her that we could have worked it out and she could have kept the baby. Or even if she wasn't going to keep the baby, don't make me feel bad as a partner and as a father because I wasn't even able to be present and be there for you during the procedure or know what was going on. And he said, I'm not picking one of them. I got to have both. So basically, he's going to go over there and tell them, like, I want both of y'all. So either they going to have to bow out on their own, one or both of them, or they gonna both just have to transition into this polygamous lifestyle with him. Like, I don't know. So Tammy took him over there, and I think he was expecting her to just let him go over there and try to smooth talk his way into getting them to agree to this bullshit. But Tammy walked over there and said, well, Alex, from what I gathered, you're just the fun time and Alexis is the backbone. And he was like, you didn't have to say it like that. So then Alex was like, why didn't you just let me go home if you were going to do me like that? Because she was saying how she's going to graduate in 2 years and that's when they're supposed to get married. So I guess maybe she's just wherever they are for school. So then now he's trying to talk to Alexis while Alex is over there talking to Tammy. So now he's trying to smooth talk because Alex is not right in his face. And he's like, Alex can't be my wife. You can. That's the difference. And Alexis was like, but you told her you wanted to marry her. And Kim was like, and y'all was talking about buying a house together. And he was like, Ken, you not making this easy. Yeah, because you want to smooth talk your way through this bullshit. No, Ken and Tammy are going to expose the truth. And Alexis was like, go be with college girl. And he was like, that's what you going to say when I just told you I'll make you my wife before her? Like, yeah. So then Alex was over there talking to Tammy like, I mean, I do understand his lifestyle because I don't mind if he comes home at 6 a.m. because I understand that he was out promoting clubs, you know, club after club. But I never said that I'm cool with him having other women on the side just because he has that lifestyle. And Tammy was like, let's stop talking in circles. Ben just said what he said. He can't choose one of you. He got to have both of you. And y'all both saying y'all not going to get down like that. So is this over, Alexis? Alexis said it's over. You don't love me enough or value me enough to deal with this. I'm done. And then Tammy was like, okay, Alex, do you still want to be with Ben? She stood there for a second and said, die. Alex got some anger. And Alex made a great point. She was like, I'm thankful to Tammy, Ken, and Alexis because something tells me that if it wasn't for them, I would have went on years without knowing this. She's 25 and Ben is 37. So she was like, you know, I still have a lot more to see and do. You know, I think Alexis is a little older than Alex. So she was able to put stuff together and be like, something ain't right here. But she basically was like, I could do way better. He's going to be old and dry. So 3 months later, Tammy talks to Alexis. She said that Ben did try to contact her and it's been very hard because she does love and care about him. But she feels like she got the closure that she needs and it's best for her to just move forward. She also said that Alex did reach out to her and apologize and just said that she's going to leave him alone as well. So they did have a conversation like there's no beef there. And the episode ends there. I hope that Alex and Alexis both find great men in the future. Hopefully, they both take a little bit of time to heal from this. And honestly, Alex has a lot of maturing to do. And then Ben is just going to be Ben Chow. Hopefully, he could find a polygamous relationship and provide for two women that are willing to go for that, honestly. So that was the end of episode 9. And I will see y'all next week for episode 10 of Caught in the Act Unfaithful. Bye.